Everyone, it's Ryan Nelson, and today we're on our video devotional, and we are now to Matthew chapter 5, verses 23 and 24. If I was to name this video, it's kind of the theme I've been going with this last week, was if I named this video for this verse, I think I would name it Hatred Blocks Real Worship. That's what I think I would call this video. And we're going to look at this verse today. And let me read it. Again, it's Matthew chapter 5, verses 23 through 24. So if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go. First, be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift. So, again, we know that who's sitting here watching, that there's a lot of Pharisees watching. There's a lot of just the people, followers of Jesus watching, and he's giving teachings one after another. And he's just got done talking about how we need to be looking at our heart and changing our heart. And that's the most important thing that we can do for ourselves. Now, when it comes to worship, this is something that he's talking about that is practical for the time. In that time period, there was a time called the Day of Atonement. And what would happen is that the Jews would bring in an offering and give it to a priest. And then the priest would go sacrifice that offering on their behalf for their sin. This is before Jesus has died and resurrected. And he's using this imagery for a reason, because he is actually going to be the atonement. But aside from that, what he's talking to them about is what it means to actually worship. What does it mean? And so when he sits there, he says, so if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there you remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift and go. He doesn't say, finish your sacrifice and then go to your brother. He doesn't say, worship me first, then go to your brother. He says, go to your brother first. And I think really the emphasis here is that unresolved conflict and sin in your life takes priority over a sacrifice. It takes priority of you going to church. Changing your heart takes priority. Going resolving conflict takes priority than being pious. Then external ceremonial acts. So what we'll see sometimes is people will come, and you see this a lot in very traditional churches. They go through all the rituals. They go through all of the acts that you need to do as you walk into a church. And Emmanuel, our church is not like that, because we know that Christ is the ultimate gift. It's not our acts. It's not our external acts. But in that time, a lot of the Jewish people and the Pharisees, they did a lot of ceremonial rituals before they even walked into worship. All of these ceremonial acts mean nothing if you are not prioritizing the conflict and the sin in your life. It should actually come before that. See, Jesus is the one, he bridged the gap of sin. He dies, he's resurrected, and because of his perfect life and his death and atonement for our sin, he bridges that gap. Jesus is saying, you need to bridge the gap in your life to others around you. You need to be peaceable with others around you and bridge that gap. Fix the pain that you've caused, or resolve the pain that someone else has caused in your life. This isn't about who's right and who's wrong. It's about forgiveness and living peaceably. That's going to give you a peaceable heart. Now you are in a place to worship. Because we have to resolve the sin between each other before we can come to God. And we got to be honest about this. If you are frustrated and angry with someone, and then you go to pray and you're praying in anger, you're not hearing God in that moment. You're just venting to your imaginary friend, really. God is there with you. If you come with a peaceable heart, he's going to listen. But if you come with hatred, it blocks real worship. It really does. A hateful heart can block worship. What did I write here? No, I mean, yeah, it's basically everything. Oh, it's not having a peaceable heart creates not in genuine worship. That's really what I wrote. So it's ingenuine. You show up. I'm mad at my wife. I'm going to go to church. I'm going to go down to the altar. I'm going to do the prayer because they say we need to go down and pray. And we're going to go pray for our wives. So we're going to go down and we're going to go pray for our wives. We're going to pray for our families. We're going to do all these prayer, all these rituals. And none of it matters if you don't have a peaceable heart and you've not resolved with your family or if you've not resolved with your wife. Um, and so he's saying, leave your sacrifice, leave your worship, and go prioritize the sin and internal conflict you have. So, my application for today is pretty simple. Is there anyone in your life that you should go and make peace with? Is there anyone in your life that you should really look inside and say, I need to go make peace with this person so that I can have good worship and a good relationship with God? Because He asks you to go do that. Go resolve your issues before you come to me. Go resolve the priority, the sin in your life, and someone who's at odds with you. Um, Great preaching, great music, perfect theology, a charismatic leader, external piety. None of this is true worship. None of it's true worship. It all starts with having a peaceable heart of love. And until you can resolve that, um, it's going to block your worship because hatred will block worship. So if you are at odds with anybody, is it time for you to go fix that? Is it time for you to go to that person and just say, hey, I'm sorry? Even if it's your fault, even if it's their fault, just go to them and say, I am sorry. I'm so sorry that we have been at odds with each other. And I just want to have a peaceable heart. I just want to move forward. Can we just let this go? And some people say, well, it's easier said than done. It really isn't. It really isn't. Because if you know Jesus, you know that we are all sinners and you know that we have all fallen short of the glory of God. And all of us are pretty much dead without Jesus. And so if you are at odds with somebody and they've done something against you, remember that you've done something against God. And you should be able to go and forgive that person. You think it's hard, but it's really not hard when you look and see what Christ did for us. So look around in your life. Are there people that you need to go talk to make peace with so that you can have good worship and a great relationship with God? Because remember, hatred blocks true worship. Thank you for your time.